Welcome to another episode of the Jets Afterburners podcast, New York Jets Stand 16. And again, we're just moving along here with the series, special series here. Again, this series is about NFL fans on how they can cope with not having football on anymore until August. I am no doctor or nutritionalist. I'd like to use this platform as an out-of-the-box health perspective in which the ultimate decision is yours, and you should always consult with your physician and do your own due diligence before going on any well-being journey. But I do know who is a doctor. You may have seen him on a TED Talk and many influential health podcasts. He is beyond inspiring and fully transparent regarding our health industry and the damage that they have done to our celebrity. We welcome, again, he is a board-certified OBGYN and reproductive endocrinologist, the founder, director, and head physician at CNY Fertility, the very energetic, my kind of people, Dr. Kiltz. Welcome aboard, sir.
My brother, it's a great day in God's paradise, and thank you very much for the introduction and invitation. And here to dispel the evidence and the eminence of the story that maybe is making us all meek, weak, and sick.
Isn't that crazy? Again, I remember watching your TED Talk, and you compared the human body to a Ferrari, but we use it as a Yugo. I know I get many people that watch and they're like, what the hell is a Yugo? It is not a good car in essence. All right. And we feed ourselves all this junk over and over. And for the fans that are watching right now, this is the main reason why I wanted to bring you on, because you have a clear vision and you have a testimony as well. I want to know, how did you come across carnivore?
It found me, essentially. I'm a fertility doctor. I help people suffering from infertility. And I own and run CNY Fertility Centers, one of the largest, most affordable fertility centers in America. And 20 years ago, I noticed that people were dropping out because they were depressed and unhappy and angry about the process. And I thought, well, maybe we can add some meditation and yoga and acupuncture to sort of help de-stress them, keep them in the game. And some of them were getting some help from that. And then some of them were starting to do a diet called paleo diet. And I'm like, what the heck is that? I had no idea. So I dug into paleo because if someone's getting pregnant without me, I want to know what it is so I can help share that. And so they could too get pregnant without me. And I found paleo, then I found keto, and I was suffering from arthritis, psoriasis, kidney stones, migraines, bowel bleeding. I grew up in LA, kicked out of school in a gang, couldn't read, father in jail back in the 70s, long time ago. And I had all these diseases. And yet I managed to get into medical school and become a fertility doctor and an OBGYN doctor. And I found carnivore. I found a dude on the internet somewhere. He was ripped. He was not exercising, he said, and he said he only eats meat. And I said, that's for me. And really that pushed me into the craziness of carnivore. And then it dug me deeper into figuring, well, wait a minute. I'm a medical doctor. And I've been taught that plants are good and meat is bad, and you should exercise a lot and you'll be healthier. And yet I was getting sicker and sicker. My patients are getting sicker and sicker. My sister died of diabetes. My best friend from medical school, Dave, died of cancer at 52, and he was a ripped, amazing, healthy guy. And when he got sick, I'm like, what the hell? And I've come to the conclusion that the 5 leading causes of disease and illness in humanity are plant sugars, plant antigens, plant chemicals, heroin, cocaine, marijuana, cyanide, nicotine, all come from plants. And fermentation of plants in our gut. By the way, fermentation makes heat, gas, smelly shit, and alcohol, which is made in our children's gut on the plant-based diet, which is also a cause of disease. And then excessive exercise, just like exercising, thinking that's going to be the secret. It's not. It's also another cause of damage and disease to the human body. So here I am. I write about it. I blog about it. I talk about it. I tell my patients, like, listen, You've done everything else. Why wouldn't you at least give carnivore a chance as a therapeutic modality for at least maybe a month?
Right.
And I've seen so many people succeed in that. So that's my short story.
That's awesome. And you know, the more you hear about carnivore, the more questions they throw out. Like I'm already in month, I believe, 4 into this.
Awesome.
And it's great. It's life changing. And again, it's not a cult. I want people to know it's not like what do they call it? Veganism. Like, oh, you know, God forbid. No. Like there are different ways and ways about. But to me, it was to go strict. Red meat, rudiment animals, water, salt. But that's where I wanted to. Yes, sir. That is, I would think, a
This is a beef short rib.
Yeah.
You know, I get Snake River Farms. I get all sorts of things. Bighorn Mountain. You know, our ancestors. You know, local, but you know, grass-fed, grain-finished, fattiest meat you can get is the very best, in my opinion.
Dr. Kiltz, the thing is, before going on this journey, I have had an issue all my life. When I was in my teens, obviously, like so many, just ripped, playing football, everything's good. 20s, I graduate, working in the hospital, getting the finest of foods, working out like crazy, like you said, you know, just overworking out. I got to get the protein in. Got to get the protein in. Got to get the carbs, the macros. It's all about the macros. This and the sugars. I need that whey protein. Just a lot of all that stuff. It caught up, my man. It caught up, and I became very addicted. Shoot, I can't believe I'm saying it, to sugar. Why is that? Why is the American population so hooked on sugar?
Well, instinctually, like a bear in the summer, fall, where the little berries are sweet and the grasses and grains and all the things are ripe to eat, you have one mission, and that's to eat up, to get fat, to survive the winter, the famine, the hibernation, the gestation, and the migration. So we are just in a fake world. The world today is so fake. No other animal is like, what the hell's going on here? And so imagine us 50,000 years ago, you and I are part of the tribe, and we're going hunting. And let's just say we're 2 young alpha males, and we want to show off to hunt the big beast and take it down. And then everyone's going to celebrate us around the fire. But eventually we were too good, or the masters figured out the secret. The secret is simple. I can feed the masses plants, and they become domesticated animals that will do everything and anything we tell them and say. And that's what the story really is. You and I are highly addicted to plants because they get us fat, so we maybe survive the famines, the gestation, the hibernation, and migration. I mean, let's you and I go out to New York somewhere and go hunting and find food. Now, you don't have a gun, you have nothing. You've got to go make your spears, your bows and arrows, and you have to figure out how to go hunt. What are the odds that you and I are going to go do that easily?
None. Nothing. No, definitely not.
So it really is fake food. We're surrounded by fake food, and you have to build strength as a lion. And I hear it from you. It sounds like for me also. I went carnivore, and it's like the universe cleared up.
Yo,
it's
crazy.
Like, whoa, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But that's what I don't understand. Like, you know, I was so hooked. I get out of work. I'm thinking about food. I'm driving to my house. I'm going to stop by a Wendy's. And I was doing the carnivore diet wrong before, even the keto diet. I'll go to a Wendy's. Let me get 3 triple burgers, no cheese, no bun. I'm eating this stuff. And then as time went on, I'm like, what's in this crap? This isn't meat. This is not meat. If they're promoting the Impossible Burger, what is this happening to my health? Why am I constantly hungry? Why am I constantly pissed off? Why can't my family have their dad back? Why? They do now.
Well, so we've been so lied to by cartoon characters and massive marketing, even by the medical industry, that recommends a diet that actually turns out to be deadly, or it makes you weak, meek, and sick. And so you finally have you've seen those that have done carnivore, and you're like, I want to be like that. But you're also not sick and addicted so much that you're unable to see that, right? Because many of our brothers and sisters are dying young, they're suicidal, criminals, because they've been consuming a deadly diet that damages the brain, which damages every cell of our body and makes you think, oh, I'm just made this way.
Right.
But you're actually made like a lion in a Ferrari in a temple, not a Hugo pig in an amusement park. And ultimately, this is processed food. But we know that nature processed this, not the supermarkets, the supermarketers, or the propaganda of that you should be saving the planet by eating a plant-based meat, which, again, domesticated animals will buy that. But we're not domesticated animals anymore. We found the holy grail of the truth. The number one, God is within all of us. God can do everything and anything. And you and I have the same powers. It doesn't matter your age, size, shape, gender, doesn't matter your labels in front or behind your name, your accolades, doesn't matter. We are capable of everything and anything. When you eat the proper human diet, your brain is rid of the plant chemicals, which are basically like heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine, which are highly addictive. And so the challenge is to begin to move into the keto space, paleo keto. That's good. And as you do that, your brain begins to see some clarity. When you go carnivore, real carnivore, fatty meat, salt water. I mean, I do one meal a day. I'm 70 next year. I've never freaking felt better in my life.
Amazing.
Do I ever eat a French fry? Sure, but not very often. Do I ever have an extra filthy dirty martini? Rare as shit. And I almost never drink the whole thing.
Right.
Okay? Because alcohol's not good for us, by the way. And so, why do I blog? As a doc, I'm a surgeon. I fly airplanes and jets. I continue to grow and learn. I didn't learn to fly an airplane until 55, jets at 62. Carnivore clears the brain. And when you hang out with people like yourself and other people that are breaking the barriers, when I see what Trump and Kennedy and the potential of all of us, I don't care what politics you are, by the way, you want your family to be healthy.
Yep.
And the modern medical system, the American College of OBGYN, which is I'm a member of the profession, recommends for pregnant women and breastfeeding women to eat a plant-based diet, Mediterranean, lean meat, no red meat, and drink red wine. Okay? Right. So if our professional doctors and the organizations, now you wonder, why? Where's the money coming from?
Right.
Because is it that they just want to be more profitable, or they want to help our patients be healthy and well? And again, I once thought they were right until I realized all the hurt I was doing, until God finally showed me the way. And so my job as a human being is to help my brothers and sisters heal, and not just continue the lie that we're not herbivores. I mean, in my TEDx talk, the basic story was we came out of the trees not to eat the grass, but to eat the grass eaters. And we're like lions and we're like wolves. We are hunters, pack animals, community oriented, by the way. And and reproductively important to build our families and care for them and even die for them.
You see, I'm just blown away because it's very, very difficult to find a physician that is willing to detach itself from the modern and the mainstream. This is what I wanted to ask you, because I think it's so empowering for people to understand this fully. When you stand up for something, even if it's against the grain, no pun intended, what fortitude, what, again, street language, kind of balls do you have to have in order to say, you know what? No, this is not what I signed up for. What I see here, it's much more clear. I'm going to steer my patients the right way. How? What epiphany did you have? How did you say, this is it? You put your foot down.
Well, hardship, struggles, falls, and failures have a way of either killing you or making you stronger. Right. Or weak and meek, and you just give up and you walk away depressed all the time and thinking, oh, I'll never do this. But in fact, 20 years ago, I went through some personal challenges and physical and all sorts of challenges, emotional challenges. And I began to dig deep in understanding the philosophy of the human mind and the power of God. I found faith in God. And God is within all of us. And there's so much human spirituality and love and kindness there that when we really see that in each and every brother, I usually wear my cross. I took it off for some workout I was doing, but it is whether Buddhist, or Hindu, Muslim, Jewish, Christian, it doesn't matter. We're all brothers and sisters, and God is the most powerful thing. And when I found that, I realized my purpose, which was no matter what happens in life, you have to stick to the way. And in the lion's way is God's way. And we want to help each and every one of our brothers and sisters heal and help themselves. And so if I teach you to hunt, to fish, to make your clothing and do all these things and build your homes, well, that's going to help you rather than just saying, well, here, we'll give you a handout and that'll work. Where we certainly want to help elevate people, but we want to give them the power and strength to learn to do it themselves. And so I was reported to the state licensing board over carnivore. I was told by a local hospital I work at that I cannot talk about this, and if I do, I'll lose my ability to practice at the hospital. And the doctor that told me this is a good guy. He's in a wheelchair, missing a leg from diabetes. And I said, whatever you need, I'll do it. Sorry about that. And but then I went about my business of continuing to speak my words in order to elevate and help people heal. Because I'm privileged to be a doctor. I mean, the work it took, again, I was kicked out of school in a gang, couldn't read, father in jail, 6 years of undergrad, Los Angeles City College, University of Southern California. I didn't get into medical school the first year, but I just put myself to the books and I got into medical school. And yet I found the trials and tribulations over the years. And remember, we get into medical school, and when I got into medical school, there was no internet. There was no access to knowledge and information unless you got into the right place. You knew the right people, right? And so I'm like, I found this gem. And after my sister died, my best friend died, I'm like, how can I be quiet? That's just following the eminence of the doctors and the physicians, the priest, the pope, the president, the leaders of the profiteers. Right. And now I'm not blaming anyone individually, but collectively we all can make a change together. Right. And but once I knew the story, I couldn't be silent. You can take me down. I don't care. I will die sharing this story. If I live a day, a year, or 50 years more, up to God. But hopefully the words we're speaking today, people 100, 1,000 years from now find us and go like, You mean 1,000 years ago they were doing this carnivore shit and they're still telling us to do plant-based?
Mm-hmm. No, it's to me, it's breathtaking, and it was a game changer when I started going on to this journey where I had, believe it or not, self-control. I had my free will back.
Yeah.
Free will. This is crazy. In which I had to, my normal day was I go to work, I don't eat. No, not eating. I was good. Lunchtime comes, everybody's going for the pizza shop at this. All right, I'm coming. And then they tell me, well, you know what? You're always hungry because you don't have breakfast. Oh, all right. So I started having breakfast and I was still eating the same. Then I would come home and I would devour everything. And then everybody goes to bed and I plop on the couch, watching Seinfeld, and I'm going to the kiddie snacks, Doritos, Cheetos, whatever the case is, sleeves of Oreos. I couldn't go to bed. But every morning I would wake up and I would look in the mirror. I would not like what I saw. And I would say, today's the day. And as the day went on, there was another voice that said, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not today, and it will never be. And it's an internal spiritual war and carnal and so mental, where I decided about 3 to 4 months ago, I had an issue with my lining, with my stomach.
Yeah.
I went to my gastroenterologist and I'm like, hey, what's wrong? Can you check me out? Whatever. No, we got to do the endo. We got to do the colonoscopy, this and that. I'm like, man, that's quick, man. That's it. Now, what about, I'm just curious, what about my food? Are you going to ask me about my food? No. That's irrelevant. Son of a gun, man. Anyway, as the days led up to that, I started thinking, I'm like, this is crazy. Why aren't there more questions regarding me, my health? There's something going on here. Bleeding. I'm going to throw it out there because people go through this. There was bleeding going on.
Yep.
Why wasn't he asking for more? Well, he should have gone to someone else. No. This is it. This is his forte. As it went on, I said, you know what? I just did this whole cleansing thing of drinking the Marilax and all that. I didn't eat all day. I could do this. I could do it. If I can the following day just eat carnivore, I can do it just one day at a time. And I'm going to just slay this dragon that keeps telling me that I can't do it. Again, to each their own. I'm not saying to cancel your colonoscopy. Or to each their own. You got to do what you have to do. I just felt that it was not my time. I called them. I said, hey, listen, I'm sorry I won't be able to go. The hospital was like, no worries. Just call the office. Call the office. Office was upset. Hey, you can't cancel. They're waiting for you. What do you want me to wait? You guys are going to get paid anyway. Listen, I got to do me. And 1 month went by. Dr. Kiltz, I started sleeping again. I've always woken up at 3 a.m. since I was 6.
Love it.
No more snoring. I felt lighter. I felt stronger. Wide open. My mind, I guess that third eye or whatever the pineal gland, completely cleansed. What's going on here? How can I carry a normal conversation, understanding everything? I'm there for my kids, my wife, my queen. I'm there. I'm here. God forbid something happens. I'm there. And that would always be in the back of my head. What if you had to do a movement within your physique to save your family? Are you able to do it? And back then I couldn't. Now I can. It's life-changing. And that's where I wanted to piggyback off of. And I wanted to dive into this. You have gone on so many podcasts and whatnot. You know, one of my fan favorites, Dante Ferrigno.
Oh,
dude, can we talk about him?
He is the man, the master. I love him and his wife Katie, amazing. And they came down to our meetup down at in Tampa. We had a party. We had a gathering of carnivores at my house in Sarasota. It was amazing. And I had not met Dante and a few others, and I feel honored to meet each and every one of these people who have been brave to not only make the change but share the change. And we need to be inspiring more of our brothers and sisters at every age to come back to the lion's way.
Mhm.
The lion's den is where we belong. We were born lions, but we were fed like sheep, and you are what you eat. And ultimately, ancient lions and wolves were fed plants, and they become dogs and cats. There are
That's right.
domesticated animals.
Yes.
And the kings and the queens figured out a long time ago that if we feed the masses plants and prevent them from eating the meat, remember the hunting grounds are off. You can't go there, and you may work in the fields. You ever see the king and the queen tilling the soil, planting the crops?
Sir.
Never.
Mhm.
And so even today, who are the peasants? The people going around the world migrating in order to find a life because they're basically slaves, soldiers, peasants, and prisoners around the globe. And we in the Americas and other countries are growing the grains. I mean, if you look at what's happening in Eastern Europe with Ukraine, they're growing the grains that are shipping around the world. And many people are doing this of the large countries, all of us, by the way, are shipping the grass and the grains around the country, around the world. And we're creating more domesticated animals.
Hmm.
And the diseases are on the rise everywhere.
Yep.
And that's the sadness.
It is. And you know what? I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
This is extreme. This carnivore thing is extreme. How can you just eat red meat? What are you eating? Nuts? This is crazy. No, you need your vitamins from your fruits and your vegetables. You got to take, again, your supplements. You need that. Again, I always lived by, if you live life casual, you're going to be a casualty. You got to step out. What do you think about that for all the naysayers that aren't on board with us? They think it's extreme.
Comfort and casual will create a casualty and discomfort because ultimately you get sick in every cell of your body and your mind, and it will tear you apart and either put you in the grave earlier than you expected, or you will be demented in a memory care home one day.
Right.
People taking care of you in order to entertain you because you can no longer entertain yourself. But it is radical. But do you think science is actually like accurate and cares about accuracy? No.
No, there's a lot of money involved here.
Well, think about it. I don't care what science, even carnivore science is a lot of wrong shit, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And so we look back at all the metabolic theories and how the body works and the new science of every molecule and all this stupid shit. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. The people who write those papers are being paid to write them, or they've got a purpose in order to support their product that they're going to be selling around the world. And so all of us can be distracted and on a purpose of profits over people and the profits. God profits, by the way, human profits that are helping people. And so I trust almost nothing I read anymore. We need to be deep questioners and thinkers about, well, is that really true? I mean, carnivore. Okay. I mean, let's see. Do you need fiber and why? Should we focus on protein or should we focus on fat?
Right. Fats is
Protein
my answer.
poisoning? Ever heard of protein poisoning? Plant poisoning all day long. Fat is where it's at. And we're driven to get fat in our evolution. We're living in casual comfort, which is deadly for humans. If you're in pain and you're struggling and stressed out and feeling it lost, God is giving you a gift of discomfort, of struggles and failures, because you're either going to drop dead and give up and lay on that couch, smoking marijuana, which is deadly, my brothers and sisters, and going to your pain doctor to get more of these drugs when all you need to do is eat the fatty meat and rare and raw as possible. And so how do we change? Hardship.
That's right.
And then you meet bloggers and communicators and people who care, because standard medicine is just losing it. And with people like Kennedy and others that are just saying, hey, wait a minute, we can't take this shit anymore.
Right. There's got to be that empathy there. Absolutely. And you said it, we have lost our way of critical thinking. We cannot think out of the box because it's silver spooned. Whatever we want, it's right there. DoorDash, bam. I need Chinese food every day. Bam. I need things instantaneously. Before you know it, and I know with me subjectively, that level of insulin high, I had to add more to it, more to get to that certain point of processed foods. Doctor, I haven't ate anything yet. It's at the time of this recording, 7:37 p.m. I'm good.
I haven't eaten in 2 days. I do a 3-day fast every month, 5 to 7 days, 4 times a year. I typically eat 1 meal a day at night. It's 99% fatty ribeye steak, or rare to raw as possible. I dry age my steaks myself. And I can tell you that there's no poisons in beef. And again, if you get it from a known source, you get it from your local rancher, your butcher, and you get the whole meat. If you want ground beef, make it yourself. Now, again, much of our meat resources are very safe in America. I will even bet that industrially produced meat is far better than ever eating a plant product, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, it's dual chamber, right? It's dual chamber that the cow has.
The ruminants, by the way, there's a journal called the United States Department of Agriculture's Journal on Plant Poisoning. Ever read it?
No.
Okay, so now why would the USDA have a journal on plant poisoning? Because the animals, the ruminants, the grass eaters, they get sick on the plants they eat. But when that happens, the people who control the business and the industry of livestock production are losing money. But when you get sick on those plants, we make money.
Unbelievable, man.
I mean, if you go back, sorry to interrupt.
No,
if you go back to the tobacco industry, they were denying in front of Congress that tobacco is harmful. Okay? And now they own the food companies. I mean, all levels of it. The pharmaceutical industry, the medical industry, it's all owned because the most important thing is how to make more money.
Right. Exactly. And right.
We want to make more men and mommies.
Yes.
That's 100%. It.
Without a doubt. And, I want to get back to the fasting. You're on the 3-day fast here. Yeah. And for many people that are tuning in, let me make this discrepancy very clear. Fasting is not starving. Fasting is healing. See, what I've noticed in my journey as well is when you allow your body to not process food, like just do its thing, it's allowing your mind, your body to reach the ailments and take its proper time to self-heal. I remember this analogy where they name fasting as a poor plumber. As a plumber there gets called, there's a pipe that's broke. He looks at it and he says, it's going to take me about 30 minutes to do it. All right, cool. This is the price. No worries. As he's doing it, another pipe breaks. Now he has to go to that pipe, The price just went up. As he's fixing both of them, that original pipe, 30 minutes, it's going to take an hour and a half. Now, as he's fixing the second one, another one pipes up. Now he has to fix that one. Price goes up. Guess what the price is? It's our lives. It's our health. When you fast, you allow your body to fully heal and target exactly where you have to. Because why? Because when your body is focused on something, like let's say an inflammation of your left knee, and it's targeting that, and you start introducing food again, you got to take that energy away from that left knee, start breaking down that food within your stomach. Can you clear it up for us, Dr. Kiltz?
Why do we like to eat food and get fat? Because it allows us to survive migration, hibernation, nesting, gestation, war and famine. Starvation is no fat on your body. That's starvation. But as you think, so shall you be. Remember, we're taught to eat 3 to 6 meals a day. You have to fuel your metabolism. And even carnivores say you got to eat more, which I think is all BS, personally. Right? And so ultimately, insulin is not the trouble of our body. Insulin is a magical hormone. It's a magical enzyme. What's insulin's job? It's to make fat in the liver out of protein, amino acids, and complex simple sugars. That's insulin's job. If it doesn't do that, you're dead. If the insulin is damaged significantly enough, you are dead too.
Right.
So fat is your friend. Adipose tissue is the best thing you carry on your body, because if there's a major something attack in our world and there's no processed food for you, you better wish and hope or be glad you're fat.
Right.
And so fasting, we're actually built to fast. It's the healthiest thing you can do is not eat food, because if you have enough pounds on your body and fat, you can survive a year or more on only your fat. You don't break down muscle. You don't break down bones, because where are the building blocks of your body stored? Not in your muscle, not in your bones, but in your fat tissue. So a bear hibernates 6 months, grows little baby bears. They lose no muscle or bone mass. They only lose adipose tissue. And so ultimately, when you clear the body, you allow the glycocalyx to heal. The glycocalyx is the sugar layer on every single cell lining of your body in order to protect the cell wall, to communicate with the outside world. The plants are the communicators. They create the environment of the soil. The glycocalyx, or the sugar layer, creates the environment of every cell lining of your body. And it's actually sugars that determine the function of a cell, not the protein.
Wow.
And so a lot of people don't know much about the glycocalyx, glycosylation, or the fact that fat is critical and important to have on your body. And starvation happens when you have very low fat stores. So if I eat right now, the food I eat is not the energy for my body. Glucose is not the energy for your body. It must be converted to fat in the liver via insulin, or you die. And the same thing with amino acids. If you only eat protein, whatever that is, by the way, and you don't exercise, will you build muscle?
I don't think so.
No, you will not.
No.
Muscle building requires resistance work and, in general, testosterone.
Right.
And so I don't know how many people that are building muscles are taking supplemental testosterone or androgens or steroids. There's a lot of that going on out there. And so ultimately, fasting, it is powerful spiritually. And it is healing, because you appear to be feeling more autophagy, which is the cells that are damaged or dead being repaired and or cleared out and dumped out into the trash. But ultimately, autophagy happens all the time, not just when you're fasting, by the way.
Oh.
And the best time, so I eat my meal at night and then I rest and digest. I take 1 to 3 10-minute meditative naps a day. I don't go on a coffee break. I don't go on a smoking break. I don't go on a negative gossiping break. I read, I listen, I meditate, I pray. Then it's always thank you, God, Lord, Creator, for the day, for everyone ever in my life that has helped me grow and expand and be better helper in this world. But fasting is not.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? I want to aim at at these critiques. All right, you're eating a lot of fat. Well, then you're going to die of high cholesterol, aka Ansel Keys. Can you dive into that with the whole high cholesterol? I have to be honest. I know maybe I might lose subscribers, whatever. It's big BS there. What's going on there with cholesterol?
So what's the job of science and medicine and pharmaceuticals?
To create more money.
Profits over people. That's the focus.
That's right.
And so we believe the scientists, even the old scientists 100 years ago that developed all this great, amazing metabolic theories and things like that. And so let's see, is someone that's anorexic, cachectic, sarcopenic, or bulimic look healthy to anyone?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay, so now there's no food for 3 months and you're cachectic, sarcopenic, and anorexic. What are the odds are you going to be around?
You're dead. You're a walking corpse.
That's correct. And so let's see. Cholesterol is critical for your membranes, your cell walls, the cascade of all the hormones, including estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol, aldosterone. I mean, there's a whole slew of hormones that are critical for the human body. Without cholesterol, guess what? You're dead. Right. And low cholesterol is consistent with higher heart disease, higher cancer, dementia, depression, every disease in the body that ultimately you're trusting of the eminence and the evidence that the eminence provides for us, right? Mm-hmm. Another study. Another study. You know, someone asked me about my books. I don't put any references in there. I'm just telling my story of what I think and sharing some ideas other people have put out there. But even carnivore study to me is biased.
Right.
And so I just say, listen, my parents lived to 94 almost, my grandmother 104, and we all have high cholesterol, and none of them exercised, by the way. And so what I've learned in life is that, you know, I don't know if I'm going to live a long time. I have no idea. I don't live to live a long time. I live to live a better time for myself, my family, my community, my world. If I can help people do that more, that's my job in life. And I can do it through fertility. I do it through blogging. I travel the world to share the story of how and why what we've been taught is a lie. And if what you're doing is working, great. But remember, people drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, smoke marijuana, take drugs in order to feel better. Well, why are you feeling bad? Well, because most people I know are eating a plant-based, low animal fat, high seed plant oils, and processed foods. I mean, you and I probably didn't process our food. Someone did it anyway.
Right.
Which I always say the biggest culprit is you're not eating fatty, raw meat and focusing on fat. You're focusing on salad. I call nature's toilet paper. It's always dirty and you're eating it. You can never clean it off enough. And interesting enough, the microbes, the bacteria, yeast, and viruses love plants. They live on them, in them. When you eat them, you can almost never clear them completely. But the most recalled contaminated food is usually a plant, a fruit, a fiber, a vegetable,
Hmm.
not ribeye steak or
Right.
short ribs. And so the probiotics, the bacteria, yeast, and your virus, the microbiome, it's so good for you, right?
Right. You need it.
Would you
You
put
need it.
would you would you put bacteria, yeast, and viruses in a cut in an open wound?
I would not.
Would you knowingly say, let me eat all this E. coli?
Absolutely not.
The
No.
leading cause of disease is actually our microbiome. They
That
want to
is
kill you.
fascinating. It,
They want to make you
that's
fertilizer.
wow. That's something else there. And I gotta be honest, the level of energy, it's consistent. I've always depended on stimulants, caffeine. I mean,
Yep.
7 cups of caffeine. I'm telling you. Now I'm trying to get away from that. And this was one of the first weeks where I completely cut it down to like 1 cup a day. And I'm hoping that next week I eliminate it. I started drinking more water, more salt in my water. And I have felt so clear. I thought I reached the pinnacle when I reached carnivore. But when I started eliminating the stimulants, I was talking to my brother earlier today. I'm like, yo, John, I just feel invigorated. I feel like my testosterone level has shot through the roof. I'm 43. Why do I feel as if I'm 20? And the energy that I have, I'm working out again. I'm waking up at, let's say, 5 in the morning, 5:30, or let's say I miss a workout. I'm going to hit it at 11 at night.
Yep.
And I have that intensity. Rock and roll, man.
Well, because we're poisoned by plants and protein, by the way. A protein plant-based diet is deadly. And by the way, nobody eats protein. Nobody eats carbohydrates. You either eat an animal or a plant. That's what you eat. Every cell of every organism, including microbes, contains a fatty cell membrane along with proteins embedded in and inside the cell and sugars that are on the inside and outside that are the critical reason for our evolution, the glycobiome, not the DNA and the proteins.
Wow. Yeah, 100%. Now, do you ever feel that maybe with the hunters and gatherers, right? And I'm talking about 200 years ago, at one point or another, fruit and vegetables were okay. And like, let's say my example is this, like, let's say here in New York, it's the wintertime. Obviously nothing grows. So you have to supply for your family. You're going out, you're killing a deer, getting the fat. You're good for like 3-4 days until you have to go again. Or you have like the remnants of that deer outside because the cold weather acts like a naturalized refrigerator. But now here comes the springtime, the berries, all the fruits and vegetables and whatnot. Was it necessary to go out and hunt if you already have that? I just felt like at that time with the glucose levels maybe at a high level, once the wintertime came, it allowed the body to kind of cleanse itself out. Or do you not buy that?
So if you look at the transition between paleo and Neolithic, where we went from hunter, and I'll throw in a little bit of gathering, to agriculture, there was a significant increase in diseases in humanity. It's seen the Egyptian and pre, if you look around Turkey and other Eastern European and Asian countries, where you'll see human evolution in an agrarian, civilized, which basically means controlled environment. The kings and the queens, the master lords that controlled the masses in the story. But how many other organisms are fighting for those plants to be eaten? The birds, the bugs. Remember, why do we have pesticides? Why do we spray pesticides all over those plants?
Yeah, to keep the insects out, right?
I mean, what about the potato famine in Ireland? What happened? I don't know, it's a virus, a bacteria or yeast or mold, but basically it destroyed the plants. So are there other organisms that are trying to eat your berries, and you're going to get there and they're going to be either rotten or fermented or completely damaged or gone, and then go out and try to gather fruits. Are there fruits and vegetables growing in upstate New York or downstate New York right now?
No, absolutely not. No.
There are not. There's a season for everything. As we're very ingenious, and we're creative. We are very intelligent to the point where, due to likely the consumption of high fat and brains and organ meats, the big beasts, our brain grew and our knowledge base grew, and our ability to then see the potential of grass and grains. I mean, if you're starving, and I think we're only talking this right now because we've evolved to a point we're realizing the focus on plants completely may be the biggest problem.
Wow.
And low fat diets are deadly. Yeah. And everything is fast food. I mean, when I grew up, we had a garden. I'd go down to the butcher where I lived in LA. I'd go to the butcher and bring home meat. Now, I grew up also on cereal and salads and other things, but maybe when my grandparents came from Italy, what was it like then, or way back when? How far do you have to go back before we're like healthier? I don't know that answer. We're telling a story for sure. But I mean, hunting and gathering is not easy. I mean, I've got a pretty casual life, comfort, right? And someone's thankfully raising. I went out to the ranch in Wyoming with Bighorn Mountain Farms, my good friend Mark, who McKinley, who graciously invited me there to come see the cows and see the land, and I buy my meat there, and it's beautifully amazing. Wyoming Wagyu, and we have to go visit a farm, go visit a dairy farm if you want to learn about raw milk and butter. If you choose to grow your own plants and you want to be on the keto world, the Mediterranean, add more animal fat, cook those well, but one meal a day, not 3 to 6.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely. And, we're going to tie these loose ends here a little bit, because there's a shortcut odyssey going on right now. And that odyssey is called gastric bypass Ozempic. So, I have some friends that have gone both routes. And there's a common denominator with this, and it's mind blowing. First one, gastric bypass. Guy was a good friend of mine, severely overweight. All of a sudden, I see him a month later, gone. What the hell happened? Dude, I had the procedure. Dude, you're like half your size. Yeah, it's working. It's great. And I'm like, what are you eating? Nothing. I'm not hungry. Oh, wow. That's really, really good. I guess. Fast forward, another guy. Friend's walking his dog here. Lost a boatload of weight. God bless, man. What are you doing? Exercise? No, I'm doing the Ozempic thing. Holy smokes. What are you eating? I'm not eating anything. I'm just not hungry anymore. Wow, that's great. Now, the tables have turned, and they're asking me, how did you lose so much weight? Well, I eat red meat. Whoa. No. That's no good. But I'm not hungry anymore. No, you got to eat. You have to eat. But where were you? That's what I tell them. Where were you when I was 45 pounds overweight? You weren't giving me this advice. Now that I'm losing weight, I feel great, like a lion, clear-minded. Why is there so much hate? And why are people opting to go for this outside venture of Ozempic and gastric bypass instead of going towards at least this journey of self-evaluation and self-assessment? Why?
Well, let's see, 20 plus years ago ish, Atkins was really big and a lot of people were dropping pounds and losing weight. But like anything else, it's only a temporary, right? You just do this, you lose the weight, then you go back to your regular stuff and you'll be fine,
Right.
which you find out that's not true. Gastric bypass, same story. And I had a friend of a friend die from gastric bypass because it's a risky procedure anyway.
Yeah.
And, but you know, many people lose weight, but most people actually gain it back. So it's an expensive endeavor, risky for changing your gut, and then it comes right back on. And then the same thing with Ozempic. You take this drug, many people lose weight. It's a game changer. But remember, they live in a world of standard diet and exercise and just watch your calories and you'll be fine, which actually doesn't work. And we know that because the more people do that, and we've been teaching people that for 30, 40 years and more, people are gaining more and more weight. And so, wow, carnivore, let's just throw in Atkins, keto, paleo, and carnivore. And it's like, wow, I'm not hungry anymore. I feel fantastic. But we're not here teaching you to lose weight. I don't give a shit what your weight is. Actually, if you're skinny in a famine, you're fertilizer. You're effed. Okay. So obesity causes no disease. Fat on your body, I don't care where it is, doesn't cause any disease. What's in your gut is the cause of disease. Between your mouth or esophagus and your anus, you've got a bag of fermenting plants protein, which basically is making alcohol, heat, gas, and putrescine. And plus, the plants contain heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine, cyanide, which are basically blowing up your brain to make you even more addicted to more of the stuff. And so, easy, give me the easy button, right? Casual and comfort. That's the world we believe in. But actually, the most successful people in the world did hard things, struggled, failed. I mean, I've failed at marriage, at work, at school, physically, financially, emotionally, everything. But God grabbed me by the shirt and lifted me up and shake me off and kicked my ass
I hear that, man.
and said, "Get moving."
That
And so I think Occam's razor, the simple answer is the one. And basically, um, there are no shortcuts, but damn carnivore is a pretty amazing one, more than I've ever learned before. Because it not only makes your body feel best, your mind is like the master and clear as ever before. That's who we are. We're lions, not sheep, domesticated animals. And so, our job, I'm not here to put anyone else down. I'm not fighting the fight against anything.
right.
I'm sharing a message that this is like radical amazing. And there's so many communities and human beings like yourself just sharing the story. You met Dante Ferrigno, you met Carrie
Sure.
Mann and others. I mean, my job as a doc is to heal humanity. And I will be fertilizer, and I'm going to make myself the very, very best food and fertilizer for some other macroorganism. That's my job in life.
I love it. I love it. Listen, one more question because
Yeah, 10 more. I'm good.
electrolytes. So a lot of people are like, all right, you know what? You're just eating salt and red meat. That's it. What about magnesium? What about zinc? What about calcium? What about I know potassium? Where can I get that? Is it maybe getting a supplement or something, or is there something more naturalized? Like that's it?
Look at lions. The carnivores don't say like, "Excuse me, do you check your macros today?" Or can I get a little supplements, please? Nothing. Okay, eat salt, eat fatty meat. The organ meats I think are good. Do you need them? Nobody knows that answer. I sell a organ meat supplement, a liver supplement. I put all those things on the table for people. I even sell a plant-based prenatal vitamin because most of my patients are not on the keto carnivore world. And so I am concerned about some mineral and vitamin
Mm.
deficiencies. Is there proof that they cure them? There isn't. But, like anything else, I pray every day just in case he hears me. And I'm going to take a supplement too. And by the way, he does hear me all the time. I do know that. He
That's
talks
great.
right back to me and says he loves me. And
Absolutely.
and so, there, if there's a war, are you going to take a Bible or the American a scientific journal to war?
The Bible. All
Bible
day. All day.
all day long.
All day. All day.
90, I'm going to say 99% of people believe in God or a higher power, or they're not sure, but they have faith and belief in themselves.
Mhm.
That's God. And I always say faith is first. Have faith in God and see God in everyone and everything. And eat the fatty meat because there's no poisons. Nobody's allergic to this shit. Nobody. Nobody.
Absolutely.
And I think fasting in one meal a day is radical. I think one meal, like I have an hour window for food. Why do
Yep.
you need more than an hour to eat your food? Eat to live, not live to eat. If there's a party here, but it's actually a temple. We're in a gathering of spiritual work every day. That's the most important thing that we can do. I was raised Catholic. I've read every Bible in the world. I now understand the power of belief in God, and I think Jesus Christ for me is the Lion King, and he's the master of the story. And Mother Mary is really behind all of it.
Well, you know what? I got to be honest. You have enlightened me. And all the people that have watched right now, I'm sure that many people will have a lot of questions. And that's the point of all this.
Yeah.
We need people to ask questions. Don't just say, yep, that's what I'm used to. This is what the TV says. It. No, we want you to fight against the grain and say,
Yeah.
what is this about? I've been, again, the lying. I don't like to be lied to. A lot of people are like, yeah, well, accepted that it is what it is. No, absolutely not. I need to know the truth. And just like you, I firmly believe that the truth is Jesus Christ. Now, with this being said, people need to go on to their journey. And I'm hoping that tonight, what we broadcasted today will enlighten so many people. That's what I'm talking about.
What more do you need? Thankful to the plants that these guys have food.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and thankful to all of them. It's all around in everything we do. And whatever your religious, spiritual belief systems is, have faith in God. Look at God in each and every one of us. And you're right. Ask the questions. But what about this? And what about this? And then you got to do your own experimentation because you're not going to find it in a journal. You're not going to find the answer. You're going to have to do it yourself. That is the only way in life for everything, by the way.
You slammed it right out of Yankee Stadium right now because you have to ask these questions.
Yes.
Not for nothing, watching your videos, watching Kerry, Dante, Dave Mack, in months past, I would say, man, these guys are crazy. This is nuts. And then I'm like, what if they're not? Why is Dr. Kiltz in great shape? Why is Dante an amazing? How is Kerry? I was taught that when you eat fat, you become fat. You are what you eat. But these guys are in top-notch shape. Then you go at Dr. Chafee. All these amazing carnivore doctors, they're in tip-top shape, guys.
That's right.
Doctor, where can people find you? Because I'm hoping that people will start following.
You are what you eat. But it's not that if you eat plants, you're a plant. If you eat fat, you're fat. Lions, what they eat is what you are. right? You're the lion because you eat like a lion, not like a sheep. But if you simply go to drkiltz.com, you'll find all my buttons and places to go. And there's so many people out there sharing the story. Social media is the real social medicine. And you have more knowledge and information than I ever had in medical school, residency, or undergrad. And dig deep and listen to the stories. I so appreciate everyone. And we keep sharing together. Love you always.
Absolutely, man. The very best. Have a great rest of your Friday. And dude, keep slaying it, my man. God bless and keep rocking, dude.
Awesome. And one other thing, if I may throw it at you.
Yes, sir.
My daughter just had a baby, my first child, grandchild. And it is like, that's what we're all living for. So God bless you.
God bless, man. And congratulations. All right.
Thanks.
The very best.
Quarterback, Ken O'Brien of California, Davis.
There's 14 that first time, now going long. They got a wide open man, and he makes the catch. It's Braylon Edwards taking off. Braylon Edwards will take it home for the touchdown. 80.
First down in San Diego territory at the 47-yard line. Big draw. And Pennington going for 6. Deep down the field, and it's caught by Santana Moss.